This is Valerie. Thank you for joining my YouTube channel. Today we are cooking with Valerie. Can everybody say amen?
Amen.
Thank you so much for my gallery that's standing with me. All right, so today we're going to make scrambled eggs. It's one of the very first things I learned to make when I was in cooking class in 8th grade. Wow, that was a long time ago. So, first thing you do is we're going to learn how to crack an egg correctly. So, I am going to get a bowl. I still am with you. I have my egg and I have my bowl. Aren't these pretty? I just got these. All right, and so how you crack an egg is that what we're going to do is you crack it on the side of the bowl until it cracks, and you see a crack about 3 times. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take my thumbs and I'm going to put them together, lock them together, and I'm going to go ahead and push down a little bit of pressure and barely break the egg. Oh, and I do see I have a little bit of shell, so I'm going to be really careful when I do that. And I'm going to do that side first because I see the shell. I'm going to put that in my garbage. And then I'm going to just gently get the shell out. See the shell? I got the shell, so now I don't have any shell. And then you're going to go ahead and go like that. And so now you have a cracked egg. That is your first one. For particularly, for scrambled eggs, I like to use 2 eggs. But for an omelet, it's typical that you use 4. So today, we're going to be using 4 because we're going to be making a little bit of an omelet. Sort of like an omelet, but more like scrambled eggs with ham and cheese. All right, so we're gonna crack the egg. Here we go, ready? Crack, 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 and thumbs and crack, or open. There you go. That's pretty easy. That's how you crack an egg. And we're gonna do it again. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and both thumbs are locked, and open up the egg. And there you go, that's 3 eggs. And now we're going to our 4th egg. 1, 2, 3, and locked thumbs, and open egg, and there we go. Now we have 4 eggs. Now, we have a little bit of a whisk, so we're just going to just lightly whisk the 4 eggs. Now, I am not your typical cook when it comes to whisking eggs. So, I like to have them in a bigger bowl. So, we're going to put them in a bigger bowl, and we're going to whisk and whisk and whisk for about, I would say, a minute or 30 seconds, something like that. And then I like my eggs to be a little bit richer, but then some, and so I use half and half in my eggs. And so we're going to go ahead and pour some half and half in our eggs. But we're only going to use, okay, so here's the half and half I'm using, but we're only going to use about 1/4 cup for 4 eggs. And I just eye it, but you can measure it if you want. All right, so then we're going to continue whisking our eggs. And if you see what I'm doing here, I'm whisking the eggs ever so gently, and we're just going to make sure that we have good scrambled eggs until there's all whisked together and the color turns like a lighter yellow, a butter color of yellow. Now, I am the type of person who likes flavor in their eggs, so I cook with butter. So the first thing we're going to do in my pan is we're going to put a little bit of butter in my pan. I don't use margarine, and I don't recommend margarine for eggs especially, because eggs, when you put butter in them, you have a non-stick ingredient in your pan as well as salt. So you don't have to use any additional salt in your eggs when you're cooking them. So just use a little bit of butter on the bottom of the pan, and when the pan is hot, then you can go ahead and stir the butter around with just the pan, just like this. And then you're gonna go ahead and put the eggs in the pan. Now, the butter is not melted this time, but normally I would have the butter melted and it would be all spread around the pan. So now we have the eggs and we have the butter in the pan and we're going to the stove. I need to have something prepared and I don't, but I will. So, in the meantime, while the eggs are cooking, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to chop up a little bit of ham. So I've got my handy dandy little Cutco knife. It's my favorite knife that I have. It is a Cutco steak knife and it will cut anything, including pennies. I've seen it done. It's very important to use a sharp knife. So for 4 eggs, I'm going to use about 4 pieces of sliced ham on my cutting board, and it looks like that. It's the Costco extra lean ham that we're using today. And I'm just going to cut it, I'm just going to dice it. So I'm going to cut it into little strips along the way. And then I'm going, after I get all the little strips cut, then I'm going to flip the cutting board around so you don't have to flip your ham because it will fall apart. And I'm just going to cut the ham pieces into little diced squares. So then you have ham all cut up for your eggs. And my eggs should be cooking. And we'll put the ham in there. And I'm going to go get my eggs and I'll show you what they look like. My oven's not heating up very well.